Let's create some Christmas in July using some scrap pieces. Hello everybody and welcome in to Emily's Upcycled Home. Project number 1, stocking holder. Using these pieces of plywood that I ripped into like 1.5 to 2 inch pieces here, I'm going to put these together, as well as using these half spindles. You can find some half spindles salvage over on my boutique at Emily's Upcycled Boutique. So I'm going to go ahead and use these little half salvage pieces at the edges, but first we're going to go ahead and combine all 3 of these slots using some wood glue here. I just use a simple Gorilla wood glue that I find on Amazon. I'm going to put a bead of glue across those wood planks on each side of the planks, making sure I wipe off all that mess that I make here. I don't know, you guys let me know if you're a messy crafter. Make sure you have a wet towel handy to wipe off that glue. I'm going to go ahead and add some more glue to the other half of our slat there, and then we're going to attach these together, making sure once again I wipe off any excess mess that I create. Now we're going to go ahead and do that same thing to the last slat here, adding in that excess of glue, wiping off any extra that drips, and then we're going to lay these all together. You want to make sure you have it on a flat surface to attach all these pieces. To hold everything together while the glue dries, you want to come in with this vise style here and just clamp, I guess what it's called, and you want to go ahead and attach those all together, making sure this has enough time to dry. I want to add a little decorative edge on each side of the slat. So I'm coming in with this half spindle that I cut with my saw, coming in once again with that Gorilla wood glue. I'm going to add this to the corner, and I am going to come in with my brad nail gun, and I didn't have the screws or the nails that are small enough so that it didn't go all the way through. You can just simply use those little hammer and those little finished nails if you don't have the brad nail gun, but because they come through the other side, I'm going to go ahead and fold them over and hammer them down so that they're out of the way. I repeat that process for the other side as well, coming in with our Gorilla wood glue and then using the brad nail to attach and folding those nails over. Allow your wood glue and product to dry for 24 hours before you come in and start sanding your piece like I am here, just to give it more of a finished and smoother look, making sure I don't take away all that detail of the wood that I want in place here. So I'm thinking I'm coming in with these cute little spools as my little hangers for my stocking, but you guys let me know what you think about that. And to give this a very age distressed look, we want that chippy paint look. So first we're going to come in with some wax for my candle holder, and the color choice that I picked today was Dixie Belle's dried sage, which is a beautiful like taupey green color. Now I'm going for more like a woodland theme here. I'm not sure if you guys are into that style, but I got the old ILD transfer book that I have yet to use, and I want to come in and use that. So we're just going to go ahead with this soft pale green here that has that little hint of a tan color in it. And I'm not going to worry about that full coverage look because I do want to come back in and give this a very weathered look. To dry everything up, I'm going to go ahead and use my heat tool here. So I find that when I get close and direct with my heat tool, some of the paint starts to bubble, and it does help with that chippy look that I'm going for. I don't know if you can notice it in the paint, the little bubbles that are forming there, but you see how close I am with my heat. Once our piece is dry, because of that wax, we're just going to come in with our scraper tool, and we are going to pull off that paint. Wherever that wax landed, it's going to help pull up that paint very easily. So we're just going to give this a rustic very look here, just pulling off that paint as we go. Now once I have this all taken off and has that rustic look that I want, I'm going to come in with a little bit of sanding, smooth out the surface, get rid of some of the more of the paint that's in there, and then we're going to come in with that ILD transfer from last year. This was a limited time release, so I'm not sure if you will find this, but you can hunt your Etsy stores and people who sell IOD because some of one might still have it. So I'm going to come in with this cute little bunny here, and you're going to see me make a hot mess of this when I start to buffer in or varnish in this piece here. I take off the whole bunny's head, you guys. So be careful as you burnish things in, because if it's not set, it's gonna pull up your pieces. Just with my pen here, I'm gonna go ahead and transfer on my image, just rubbing back and forth and pulling up that plastic as I go. I find as I pull, it's the best kind of method for me to do so. And here is where that little bunny head comes in. I was a little rough here, and you see it, you guys. Oh my goodness. But I'm going to show you what I do to fix this piece. And I'm going to sand off all this cute little bunny, leaving the lower bunny there, and come back in with that same paint color that we picked here, which is that dried sage, making sure I go around getting all that pieces where the bunny was, and get that paw that's kind of laying over that other bunny, because we can't have a floating paw there, you guys. I come in and heat up this process again with drying it with my heat tool, and then I decide to come in with a little bit more floral here just to camouflage it even further, especially where that paw was, because it's kind of just a missing piece there. So I go ahead and repeat that process of rubbing on that transfer and varnishing it in very gently. Now, because this is a different variation of greenery, I just decided to come in with a little bit more here and just really blend that greenery in with the other wreath, so it looks like it was supposed to be there all in the first place. Layering up that bunny as well, coming in with a little knife and then getting in those little edges. Because we're going with such a weathered look, I come in and lightly sand over that image as well. To give this a seal, I spray with the top coat of Rust-Oleum Sealer in a matte finish, and then the aging up process, you guys. I come in with this antique glaze or wax by Behr, and then I'm just going to layer this up, and we are going to wipe off as we go, making sure that we get that excess off so you don't have a filmy look. Now I'm going to come in and just do the whole piece, layering up, wiping off until I like the look. But you notice how this wax is adding depth into all those wood grains that are exposed. That wood tone is just really popping out here. Remember, adding the wax or any detailing is all personal preference, so you guys do you on your projects. But I hope these pieces that I do on my page inspired you as well. I'm going to go ahead and rub off all the excess. Don't want a filmy residue look. We're going to come back in with our little spools that we're going to use for our hanger. I'm going to attach these using just that simple Gorilla Glue or wood glue. We're going to let these dry for 24 hours, and then I'll probably come in with some little finished nails behind and just seal in everything even further to give it a firm hold. Now I'm going to embellish this corner up with a little bit of greenery here, some Christmas greenery. And because this is more like a woodland theme, going with those browns and those greens and those softer tones, we're going to do the same thing with our little embellishment pieces. And because there's a softness of floral here, we're going to come in with these just little simple baby's breath here. Now I wanted clusters, so I went ahead and wrapped those up with some wire, and then with my hot glue gun we are just going to add these into that greenery foliage there. And then you guys see those berries up on the top. We'll go ahead and attach those berries as well, and I'm going to finish this off with a simple bow using this brownish golden velvet ribbon here and some of this fabric that I coffee stained myself. This is muslin fabric. Once again, you can shop with muslin fabric over on my boutique as well. I'm going to go ahead and get some wire and bind this in the center. I did 2 figure-8 loops here just to put this bow together, and then once again binding that center with that wire, finishing it off with a button as well. And here is our beautiful piece using salvage wood in my stash. Now you guys go hunt for your salvage pieces to create some beautiful Christmas decor. I think we saved this transfer here. What do you guys think? And then this cute little soft bow just gives it that softness that it needs, breaking up some of that rustic charm that we love. Let me know what you guys think of this one down in the comments. I did find some mini little stockings that I'll go ahead and add with this little set here in the boutique, so you guys go head over and shop these items that I am creating here. Shop more IOD, Fusion, and Dixie Belle products with my affiliate link to Julie's Designs and Signs. I have that link in the description, as well as supplies, home decor, and floral. A one-stop shop with a $9 flat rate shipping. So save and reuse my link and help my content here on YouTube. Thank you all for your support. Project number 2, rag tree. So I found some more squares here in my wood box of pieces, and then I came across this dowel. So I decided, let's go ahead and create a base here to create a rag tree. I am going to use some wood glue here and just attach the end of my dowel to my square, holding that in place for a few seconds, and then we'll go ahead and secure that even further with a brad nail. Now, once I have this all situated, we are going to just come in and start aging up this wood. And I am going to be using some antique wax here by Bear. And I'm going to give this a very dark weathered tone, not worrying about any imperfections in the wood, creating this very rustic base for our rag tree. I'm also going to come in with some grubby lace here that I found in my stash, as well as my coffee stained muslin and some green strips here of fabric that I got from actually a t-shirt, you guys. So we're going to go ahead and just start double knotting our fabric around our base of our tree. Now you can go ahead and measure out the lengths of each layer you want, but I like more of a natural rag tree to where everything falls where it may, and then we'll come in and trim it and shape our tree even further and later on in the video. I go ahead and begin to alternate between fabrics, just double knotting each piece as I go. And this is just some soft fabric that came from a shirt. I took off the buttons, saved those as well. In come our little grubby fabric. Now here I tied it in a knot, but as I go further up on the tree, I decide to go ahead and add staples into that, just looping those, folding the fabric in half, and then attaching it with a staple. Go ahead and repeat that process a few times, layering up that grubby lace to the top. And if you notice, I know it's going to get shorter up here at the top, so I go ahead and shorten some of my fabric here as well. We'll continue that process, just layering up different fabrics as we go up, tapering up the pieces, and then we'll finish it off with some of our grubby muslin here. And then you guys, this is where we're at. Now if you like your tree this way with the longer strips, you can leave it like that, but we're going to go ahead and trim this up, give it a little haircut. But first, but any bald spots you see, you can come back in with your staple gun or your hot glue gun and use in fabric and just put those pieces in those bald areas. I'm going to give our tree a little haircut, shaping it the way that I see fit. Remember, personal preference here, so shape your tree how you want. And then I decide, let's go ahead and do a bow topper at the top of our tree. So I come in with some of that grubby lace, layer in some of that green fabric as well, using long strips, layering them in a crisscross section, and then doing the little figure 8 or the pretzel style loops that I do here. Gather everything in the center, tie that in a knot with some extra fabric strips. I add some bell embellishments, just threading through some twine. Finish this off with a star, and that bow, you guys, I attach to the very top of our tree, giving it more fullness at the top with that bow. But you guys let me know what you guys think of this one. It is a very rag style tree with all those natural tones and fabrics, giving it a softness. Now I love the rusty element to go ahead and match with our base of our tree, and then I just added this with some other goodies to stage it up. But once again, you guys, create your rag trees in the colors and styles that you love in your decor. And like I mentioned before, come shop with me and follow me at Emily's Upcycle Boutique, which is my Facebook shopping page. And we're going to move into project number 3. Large Noel sign Scrabble tile remake, I guess you would call this. We're going to take these scrap pieces of wood and we are going to make our base for our little Scrabble kind of tile set here, writing the word Noel. Now we're going to simplify this just by adding a piece of wood to the base of this and adding some brad nails. I know you can probably angle this with your saw and make it angled on its own, but I'm going to simplify it just because not everybody has that saw and that style and can do that. So we're just going to place it on the bottom, making a little lip on our edge, and then coming in with our brad nail gun and adding a nail into the center and then the edges, and then going across the rim of the piece. Now the glue is going to help support that as well. We're going to wipe off any excess, and then to give it that little lifted edge in the front, we're going to come in with these cute little knobs and add those once again with some wood glue and our brad nails as well. So this is going to lift the front of the piece, allowing those tiles to hit at a slanted angle when we add them into place. Once I have our brad nails going on here, we'll go ahead and move on to the rest of our piece, making sure you guys wipe off any excess glue before it dries. Now I think that base is just a piece of a chair, and the strips I just found in that same box that I have been hunting things through. Now I come in with some of these more strips of wood that I found in my salvage box, and then we're going to go ahead and cut these to about an inch or a half an inch mark, making some blocks here that we are going to rest along our little Scrabble holder here. Now I'm going to use the word Noel and add an extra block here to add a little Christmas tree to at the end. I think that would be a cute idea. I'm going to bring in my little sander here and give this a light sanding, just smoothing out some of the edges, but not taking away all the rusticness of our little blocks here. Remember, you can make this whatever size you want and make your blocks whatever size you want as well. So once I got these all sanded up, we'll go ahead and move on to our next step here, which is staining and aging up our blocks. I'm going to come in with this grunge color here by Dixie Belle. It does go on a little bit gray here. It does have a gray undertone, but it gives you a brown weathered rustic look once it dries. So we're just going to add this all up onto our blocks here, and then we're going to come in with this DIY paint that I've had in my stash forever, and it looks like it is still good. I'm going to give this a good mix, and then I'm going to layer that on top of our piece here. It's going to need a few coats here because there's so much paint layering on here, which is going to work in our advantage for the distressing process that we will do later on in the video. So here is that beautiful red, and then I decide that I love the red and that wood tone, so we're just going to go ahead and keep that there. But first we're going to add in our Noel, and I'm just going to hand paint the words, the letters onto each tile. I didn't put any numbers or anything added. Maybe I could have added those, but I'm just going to let the paintbrush do its job here and just guide it as I go, making and creating each letter. Now once I have all the letters done, we're going to give this a quick dry, and then we're going to go ahead and come in and age up these pieces as well to give it more of a rustic look. But first, making sure they're thoroughly dry by using my heat gun, because you don't want to smear up that paint. I also came in with sealing it with a Rust-Oleum spray sealer. I come in with that last block, add a little hole with a nail come in with a little grubby Christmas tree and layer that in. And I will come in with my sandpaper Distress our base here, exposing some of that black paint and that white paint, making sure I wipe off any extra. And with that kitschy ILD transfer book, we are going to come in with these cute little transfers of these little girls here in the corners. Now, I do make a mess of this because I didn't seal my product. My paint wasn't dry enough. So we're just going to go ahead and try it again here. Just remove that. Come in with my Rust-Oleum top sealer here. Spray that in. And look how it deepens up that red as well. Come back in with my heat tool. Dry that up. And we are going to go ahead and try this again. Simply removing that backing and rubbing on that transfer. Now, ILD does say that for best results to seal in your paints first, so then I'm going to go ahead and do that with this piece since it didn't quite work out the first time. I'm going to go ahead and gently buff those in with my finger and then repeat the process on the other side of our piece. To age this up even further and give it more of a depth, we are going to come in with that Antique Wax by Bear, which is this beautiful shade of brown. Thoroughly coat up our base here, coming in with our rag and wiping off any excess. Go ahead and get those little feet as well, just to darken up the tone. And then we'll go ahead and add our remaining wax onto our little block letters, adding that a little depth to those pieces and also wiping off that excess as well. Go ahead, and last thing to do is place our little blocks on here and our little tree at the end, making sure you spell the wording right here. And then you guys, I think this came out so cute. Look at those finished results here with the little Noel sign, the little tree at the end, and then the wood tone against that red. I just love it. It's a simple transformation here, just with some scrap wood pieces that I know we all have. Anything can become something great, you guys. But let me know what you guys think of this one down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed my content, I hope you come back and join me for the next one. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Don't forget to leave me a comment and help my channel grow, and hit that like button as well. I appreciate you guys all for joining me today. Don't forget to follow me over on Facebook as well, and in the group, the Hot Mess Express. I'll see you guys all on the next one. Enjoy your guys' day. Bye, friends.